All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well as you can in this time. Thanks for joining me on this drawing tutorial today. So the scene that we're going to be drawing today it's a mountain scene. So we have, as you can see on my little smaller drawings that I've done before here, we have some mountains in the background, some trees on the sides, we have a lake running through the middle, and we have a little log cabin on the side on the right here. It's a very peaceful and beautiful landscape, very calming to draw and to look at in my opinion. And so hopefully it can bring you some joy and peace in this time as it has for me. You know, art can be very therapeutic, especially now, so it's kind of an escape from the world, which is really nice. All right, so let's get into it. So the materials that you can use for this are really anything that you have on hand in your house. So that includes paints like acrylic or watercolor. You could use colored pencils, crayons, markers, pens, highlighters, just a pencil. I'm going to be using a pen today. It's kind of like a felt tip pen, just so you guys can see me drawing easier than if I used a pencil, for example. It's fun. The fun thing about art is that it's unique for everyone, so feel free to add things, take things away. You don't have to do it exactly what I do, but it's nice to have a guideline in some sense. All right, and also with my drawing here, you can make it winter or summer. So if you're using color, you can use, I'll show you later some colors to add on afterwards, but if you want to do colors right off the bat, for winter, you could do some dark blues, some greens, some dark browns. For summer or spring, you can use some greens, yellows, blues, and then fall is, of course, the browns, the oranges, the reds, the burgundies, so feel free to use whatever you want. Okay, so we're gonna start here drawing the mountains in the background. So I'm just gonna start on the left side of my page. We're kind of 2/3 up the page here. So I'm just gonna start and draw up and then a little peak. And then maybe another bigger one here. They're kind of like rounded triangles. This one maybe I'll make a bit more pointed. And then we'll go all the way to the right side of our page there. All right, so I have my lines for my mountain now. Now around halfway through the page, I'm gonna draw this water line. So the water line, yep, that's about halfway. Water line, it doesn't need to be perfectly straight. Don't worry about that. You can go over it again. Because, you know, nature isn't perfect. Nothing's perfect in nature, so you don't have to worry about making it as straight as possible. And now let's add in these little trees that we see in the background. We're going to use kind of a squiggly motion here with our hand. So we're just moving up. As you can see, it's almost a hill of trees. So I'm just kind of moving my hand along the page, making these squiggly motions. You could also do a straight line if you want. I just like to add a bit more texture. All right, you can go back, add some extra little squiggles. Maybe you actually want to be able to see the trees, so you can make bigger squiggles, more texture, lots of squiggles here. All right, I think that's about good for now. So now let's go and work on the foreground of our painting. So the foreground is the part of the scene that is closest to us. We just worked on the background, so let's work on the foreground now with this big tree that we see. So again, I'm using pen, so I can't erase my lines, but that's okay. I kind of like that look personally, but if you do want to be able to erase your lines, I would recommend pencil. All right, so I'm just drawing a thick tree trunk here, 2 parallel lines. And then we're gonna kind of swoop out as though there's some roots coming out of that tree. All right, and again, the lines don't have to be perfectly straight. You could use a ruler if you want, but I'm not that picky. All right, and then for our branches, we're just gonna kind of use this squiggly motion again that we used for the trees in the background to make our branches. And we're gonna go in a downward motion. All right, so it's almost like a triangle. If you see this, it's kind of like a triangle, right? But I'm just kind of squiggling, messing it up like branches, because branches are not perfect, that's for sure. All right. You can do this as fast, as slow as you want. I like to move fast with it. All right, and again, you can add some color to this as you're going. Okay, so now that I have my tree looking how I like it, I'm gonna add in kind of a landmass here. It's like a hill, I guess, above the water. Going there. All right. And we can add some other stuff to this section later on, as you can see here. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it as it is. All right, so now we'll move on to the second landmass here, the midground area of the painting. As you can see here, the landmass here, we have a cabin on top of it, some trees, so we'll add that in next. All right, so it's kind of, as you can see, a slanted, oblong, oval shape, I guess. So we're gonna start, you can see, I'm just kind of going around like so. Again, this doesn't have to be perfectly straight because we are in nature. So I would do it about like that. And then leave some space here if you're using a pen. If you're using a pencil, you can continue this line to the end of the page and then erase it later. But I'm using pen, so I'm going to just stop it right there. All right, so now I'm going to add in my log cabin. So with the cabin, we have our sides here, which are, for the most part, pretty parallel. I'm going to add 2 lines there, kind of shorter lines. And then my roof, which is a peaked shape here, kind of like a triangular with no bottom, like a triangle with no bottom. And you can have them kind of cave in like this, or just keep them straight lines, whatever you like. And then we'll add in this top roof side part, which slants slightly, because we want to make it look 3D. And then we'll add in our second parallel line, which is parallel, or the roof lines are parallel, excuse me. And then another line here, which is parallel to this one. So essentially, it's just like a rectangle. Okay, and then we'll add in our side of our house here and connect these 2 lines with, again, slightly parallel to the lines of the roof. So we're really kind of making a box shape here, but with a triangular roof. And then make a horizontal line for the bottom of your cabin. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in a little door to my cabin, which is just a rectangle in the middle of the front there. And a little trick that I have to make it look like you're looking into the cabin through that door is to actually add a line that is from this bottom left corner to about the middle of the right side. So it'll look like this. You could say it's almost parallel with this side line here. And this, you could either leave it like that, or you could continue this line and make a path from the cabin to your lake. So if the person who lives there maybe wants to go for a swim or something, or walk out towards the lake, they can do that. All right, so we'll leave that there for now. I'm gonna continue this line of my landmass now that I have my cabin drawn in. And now we can add in the rest of our trees here. So these trees have skinnier trunks than our first tree that we made because they are farther away. So they're more in the midground, not quite as big, as tall And I'm gonna, again, go in with that downward jagged motion. So it could look kind of like this. You could add in some extra pieces in the bottom to make it look like there's some more leaves or needles there. But essentially it is a downward triangular motion. So kind of similar to how we did the roof. All right, I'm happy with that. I'll add in my second tree. I'll make it a bit taller. All right, and again, you can use a ruler for the trunk. I'm not going to. The top, when we start a tree at the top, it's kind of similar to how we did the roof of our cabin. So it's like a triangle with no bottom. And then we can go from there and add lots more of those triangles with no bottoms, but kind of mess them up a little bit, make them a bit more jagged and squiggly. And then you can come in after and add in some extra branches if you like, just to fill in all the spaces of that tree, just so no side is forgotten. All right, happy with that. And again, I'm gonna come in with the back of this landmass and complete the line to the right side of my page. All right, you can add in more trees if you'd like. I'm just gonna stick with the two. And I'm going to move on to this other landmass in the background-ish area of our scene. So it's kind of in the middle of our lake right here. And it's definitely smaller than our other ones. So I'm gonna start with a horizontal line here. And then I'm going to kind of curve it upwards, make a little point, and then come up with a hill almost. Okay? All right. So it has a point, and then it goes up to a hill. All right. And then I'm going to add some little trees to this. These trees are even smaller than this landmass tree because it's even further away. All right, so you can draw a really skinny branch here. And again, with that motion, triangular motion, I'll do one more. All right. Just a downward flicking kind of motion for the branches. All right, so that looks pretty good so far. Next, I'm gonna go in and add my horizontal reflection lines. So as you can see, we have a reflection in the lake, in the water, from all the land masses that are above it. So we have the reflection from our mountains, we have the reflection from this landmass, and this landmass over here. If you're using a pencil, what you can do is you can either do horizontal lines like so, and then have them follow the shape of the mountains, or you can actually shade in that part with your pencil. So I like to have a flat edge when I shade just to get more of the graphite onto the page, and follow again that mountain. So if my mountain is going this way, it's going to reflect like this, and then like this, and the peak will be kind of like there, and I can fill that in. And then again, we have another peak over here. All right, so if I was to shade that all in, I would do it like so. Don't forget about these side parts here. They're very important. All right, and these gaps. Okay, however, if you're using a pen, you can just do parallel lines, or excuse me, horizontal lines to follow that same shape, but you're not shading it, you're just kind of drawing lines to follow that shape. And just follow it along the mountains there. And then again, we can do that same thing for under our other land masses. We have this one in the back here. that shape, that reflected shape. All right, there'd probably be a bit more back here, so let me just make that shape a little bit longer along the page. All right, and then again here. And what these lines do is they just add a bit of a shadow, a bit more of a realistic look to your painting. And remember, whenever we're doing these reflection or shadow lines, we want to have a completely horizontal line when we're shading. And it'll usually be darker right by the edge of the ground. So you can shade that in, make that a bit darker underneath, and then it'll get lighter and lighter as we go away from the land. All right. So now we can go in and add some more detail to our painting. So what we can do is, if it's, let's say, spring or summer, we can add in some little pieces of grass, maybe some bushes all around. Let's say I want to put some grass over by my tree. I like to do a flicking motion. So when I do the flicking motion, as you can see, it's kind of thicker at the bottom of the blade and thinner at the top. So I press heavier at the bottom and then flick up. Also, you could just do some nice lines, some just nice and slow lines here. And that can be our grass. That can go everywhere or just in some certain spots. I kind of like to do them at the base of the tree, maybe at the base of the cabin, just so those things kind of blend into our drawing a little bit more. All right, and now maybe I'll add in some bushes to the bottom of here just to fill in this space a little bit. Kind of just having this scalloped edge look to the bushes, going in, messing them up a bit, making them a bit more squiggly. You can do whatever you'd like with that. If you're adding color as you go, you can make these bushes green. If it's winter time, you could put maybe some brown and then leave a space for the white to go, which would be snow. Whatever you like. And I'm actually going to go over to my cabin now, and I'm going to say it's winter time, and I want to have snow on the roof of my cabin. Well, all you have to do for that is just make this kind of drooping oval stretched shape over here, or even just a line that you fill with white and then keep the rest the brown wood color of the roof and fill with just some lines. Again, if it's summer, you can fill the whole roof with these lines just to make it look a bit more like a roof. All right, if it's winter, I keep going back and forth in the seasons here. Sorry if it's confusing. If it's winter, though, I could add some icicles to my roof. Just like that. Whatever you feel like. And then also, again, if it's winter, or I suppose sometimes in spring, we have these ice caps on our mountains. And these, again, are a nice jagged line that we've been doing throughout this whole drawing. Kind of a spiky top to our mountains. And we can do that here on all our mountains. I'm just going to make this line a bit longer, and this one. All right, and you can also add in some texture to your mountains like I've done here with some other jagged lines. So maybe we have one peak going up like that. We have another line over here, and maybe another jagged line over here. And yeah, again, these are organic lines, so they're jagged, they're not straight. They can be straight, but it just adds some nice texture to our mountains. All right, so you can go back and add some more detail to your drawing if you want later on or right now. But right now I'm going to talk about some color you can do for different seasons of your drawing. So if it's winter, I could maybe have the mountains this kind of purple color. I could add some purple. Mountains usually have a lot of different colors in them, but I like purple mountains personally. I could add some light purple to that. Maybe some gray, blues, even some oranges or browns on your mountain. All right. I haven't filled that completely in, but you probably get the idea. I want to make maybe my tree with some nice dark green leaves on them. If we have a pine tree in the winter, maybe. I won't fill that in completely. Maybe we want to add some green to our other trees down here in the background, right up to that water line. Just color that in. You don't have to add color, it's just kind of nice to have a little bit extra. Alright. And I'm using colored pencils here. You can add whatever colors you have in your home. If it's winter, I'd probably keep the land masses white because there's snow on them probably. If it is spring or summer, you could do some green on these, some yellow. We could even add to our bushes or anywhere else. Let's say I have a nice green bush. I'm kind of doing swirly motions with my pencil, just filling it in. I could add a green bush with maybe some pink flowers. So I'm just doing some pink circles all around my bush. You could add some flowers anywhere, really. Nice little pop of color there. Could make my water blue, my sky blue. I could add some clouds, whatever you feel like. And maybe I'll just add some brown to my tree trunk here. So yeah, there's lots of options for color, of course. So feel free to add some things, do whatever you like with this. I think that's all though for me. So thanks everyone for drawing with me. I had a great time. Hopefully you did too. Take care everyone. Bye-bye.